What are regions that you are bullish on?
I'm bullish on emerging markets, but I'm also bullish on countries such as the Nordic countries, Netherlands, and certain aspects of US where they are undertaking the right kind of changes. America is very much into taking in the right kind of skilled immigrants, outsourcing a lot, but at the same time using women power as well as getting the old to work. So not any single solution is going to be useful, but a mix of different solutions for different countries will play out. And one generation cannot undertake the whole responsibility out here. It's the older people also, like the grandparents, who might be paying for their children's education if their parents can't pay that much, particularly with fees and healthcare and those kind of things going up.
You also talked about global unrest. What will the biggest problem in the Middle East be?
The biggest problem in the Middle East is having educated people. Let's say I'm the first educated person in my generation, and 15% of the population is like me, and you can't provide jobs for me. So I look for a job 1 year, I look for a job 2 years, but when I don't get a job, I get frustrated. That's natural, and the worst thing that can happen is for youthful energy and dynamism not to get used in a productive, efficient manner for the good of the country. And if I'm unemployed, you can brainwash me into going into ways which are unproductive, which could either be economic risks, social risks, geopolitical risks for the rest of the world. And I think collectively the leaders of all the big nations and poor nations should come together to share these kind of ideas so that in a globalized world we can create jobs across the world in a more meaningful, purposeful way.
Would you say this is exactly what happened in the last revolutions in, for example, Egypt?
Yes and no, because I do think that there was a domino effect which was going straight from the west of the Middle East straight to the eastern region. So when you looked at countries along the geographic boundaries, there was a domino effect, but the catalyzing factor in every country was different. In some countries it was Shia Sunni, in some it was oppressed youth, in some it was something else. But wherever there's oppression and there's a lack of free speech, lack of democracy, today in a globalized world, news spreads very fast. And if you realize that you're my neighbor and something good has happened in my country or my house, you can try to mimic or imitate it or create the same kind of conditions for the betterment of your people.
All right.
Education is key for that. And one thing which remains key for all countries is education. And education does not mean getting a university degree at 20 and having the right kind of skills to last till 70, because I believe in most of Europe, at least for people in my generation, we will be working into the 70s. It means continual education, it means retraining, it means having the flexibility of moving from one job to another job. And even when we retire, we work part-time, part-year, part-week to save the planet, to save the poor countries, to save the environment in more ways which keep us mentally and physically engaged.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.